Hey, I'm gonna just start off by saying RIP headphone users. Just turn it, because y'all know I already be yelling, but I'm really probably gonna yell because I was just in here yelling to myself for 5 minutes about this episode. Before I start, I just want to say, y'all know I go up for Garcelle. I gotta use this as a disclaimer every time. Y'all know I go up for Garcelle. That's my bitch. I love her so much. I think she's beautiful. I think she's talented. I think she's smart. I think she is one of the I think she's like very unbiased compared to the rest of the girls on there. Um, I love her. Y'all just saw that video of me going to fuck off about y'all coming for her kids. Like, I don't play when it comes to Garcelle. However, I am also very unbiased. And Garcelle this season, when it comes to Sutton, I disagree with how she's handling damn near everything when it comes to Sutton. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. This really was just the Aspen episode for real, for real. So, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season, I don't know, episode, don't really care. Okay. So, we got Dorit and Kyle. They're in the car talking, blah, 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 blah. What was they talking about? Okay, they was pretty much talking about like the night before or whatever the dinner that they had and how they feel like pretty much Lisa was acting inappropriate, but everybody should forgive her a break because of everything she's going through with her mom. Okay, here's the thing. Normally, I would agree. And I would say, you are absolutely right. We should give her a break. We should kind of be, a little bit leaning on her, given this situation. However, Lisa has always been this trash. When has Lisa not been trash? The audience will wait. Always been trash. So this don't really help me that much. So don't care about that. Then they was pretty much talking about Sutton and just pretty much why they feel like Sutton has a hard time with the girls. And Kyle, I don't remember if Kyle or Dorit said it. Maybe it was Dorit, but Dorit was like, I think the thing with Sutton is she gets scared. Yes, we going to talk about her. Because I'm sorry, by the end of this episode, I yelled at the top of my lungs, Sutton, you're a scary ass bitch. You're a real scary ass bitch. That was me by the end of the episode. Like, I really think I really do view these episodes in a completely different way than other people because I watch other people's reviews. I promise you. I be looking at it differently. By the end of the episode, I was screaming, Sutton, you a scary ass bitch, and I don't respect it. I don't respect it. So, yes, she is scared. AF. I don't understand how you've been on this show this long and you still acting scary. Don't understand it. Well, I know why, because you got Garcelle to clean up your mess. But anyway, keep going. So, and again, and mind you, I really like Sutton. Sutton might be one of my favorite people on the show. That's no shade. No shade. So, then we have Garcelle and Diana. Now, Garcelle and Diana, and I'm going to try my best to keep my feelings about what allegedly she was doing to Garcelle kids. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to keep it real neutral since we in this show, okay? So Diana comes over to see Garcelle because remember Diana told Garcelle at the last table function event that she felt like she didn't really know her and she wanted to get to know her. And the biggest thing was like everybody was saying they felt like they couldn't get to know Garcelle without like Sutton being involved some way somehow, which I'll touch on later. So she comes over and during that, now remember what I'm about to talk about right now, right? So they're sitting there talking and, I don't know if Garcelle said, well, why? No. I think Diana was like, see, if Sutton was here, like, we wouldn't be able to do this. Like, which is like laughing and kikiing and having a fun time because Diana had came with like her stuff backwards and she was completely hungover. So the minute she walked into the door, they was laughing, kikiing, all that other stuff. So Diana was like, I feel like if Sutton was here, we wouldn't be able to do this, which I would have to agree. I agree because the energy off top would have just been, right? Okay. So, Garcelle talked about, like in her confession, how she's trying to get better with Diana. And it shows a flashback, which is about a month ago, how Diana and Garcelle had sat down and Diana apologized for how she acted at her birthday, which I'm glad that she did because, bitch, you acted a fucking fool. So I'm glad that you apologized for your actions. So then they talk about like how the rooms, not how the rooms, but when they go to Aspen, how everybody's going to be like, separated. And Garcelle asked Diana, like, why are you staying in the hotel? And she pretty much said because she sends in what she calls Ghostbusters. But it's just energy cleaner. She She's rich bitch shit. Now, she says she's high maintenance, which at least you being honest. She's like, I'm real high maintenance. I be sending people in to cleanse the energy and all of that good stuff. So that was just that. Then, no shade, not trying to be mean, nothing, but then Lisa went through her mom's stuff, and yeah, that was out on that. Before we get to Aspen, we see everybody getting ready. Dorit is talking to PK, and she's pretty much telling him that I guess the way that the houses are going to be is going to be in Kyle's house. It'll be Kyle, fine ass Mauricio is coming, Erica, Lisa. I think that's it. Oh, and Kathy ended up coming too later. And so he was like, well, don't you normally stay with them? And she said, yeah, but not everybody could stay. And like, Dorit just didn't care. It wasn't that big of a deal to her. So it'll be Dorit and the rest of the girls in the second house. That's not that far. So it's time to go. Everybody hop on the PJ, rich bitch shit, get there, blah, 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 blah. Now, sorry. Before we do that, I want to say, number one, I love that Sutton and her assistant had on Protect Black Trans Women Lives. I mean, you know, protect Black trans women. Love those shirts. Shout out to y'all for having it on. That was just a super side note. Kyle, there's a scene like that's jumping in and out. Kyle is talking to Finance Mauricio and pretty much told him that it was like put out pretty much that Garcelle and Sutton had unfollowed Erica, and how, you know, that's not really a big deal, but when you do stuff like that, you are kind of making a statement, which is true. Like, granted, we are like, to me, like in my regular everyday life, that's not really a thing. But I think when you do become more high, a little bit high, more profile, and you start to do stuff like that, maybe to you it's not, I don't know. I feel half and half about it. But I'm also surprised that both of them even still followed Erica. Like, I'm confused, especially Sutton. I damn sure don't know why that bitch Ben didn't stop following her. But that plays into what I'm gonna say later. So then Cherie ended up calling Garcelle, and you know how she was getting ready. And Garcelle pretty much was like, at this point, I'm over Erica. I didn't like how she came at me at the party, and that's just that on that. Cool. I don't got a problem with that. So it's the day before Aspen, and Crystal calls Garcelle pretty much about an article that came out, and it said that Erica had refused to give over these earrings that was worth $750,000 that was bought specifically like with the funds from Tom Girardi's company. Now, instead of just reading that headline, I actually went and I did my research. Now, an audit was done or whatever the case may be. Now, this is what happened. Real quick and fast to give y'all a little background. So, okay, they was going through all of the funds and stuff like that, looking at who bought what and what was paid out through the company, not through Erica, but like through his company holding. Now, what Tom did was Tom used, so the money, oh gosh, I wish, if y'all don't understand the way all of this should work, go back to my video from when that documentary came out on them a while ago, right? But point of the matter is, when there's a settlement, the money is given to the lawyer, but the lawyer is supposed to take that money and put it into like an account. Like there's a specific account that the money goes into. The lawyers are supposed to take their percentages, and then the rest of it goes to the victim. Now, instead of Tom doing that, which is what he's being alleged of, instead of him taking his percentage and giving the rest of it to the victims like he's supposed to, he was just not giving them any money. So in this particular situation, what they were saying is that pot of money from one of the victims, from one of the settlements, he did not give that money to the victims. He used that money to purchase some earrings that was worth $750,000. Now, apparently, this gift is like, for some reason, very sentimental between Erica and Tom. Don't really give a fuck about that. And so, yeah, so originally, I guess when they had sent out the thing saying, okay, well, you need to give us the earrings, Erica's lawyers pretty much argued that she shouldn't have to give the earrings back because, number one, like, it had been too much time that had passed. And what was the second reason? I can't remember the second reason. God's sake, I wish I still had that up. But I can't remember the second. But there was some other second reason why. The judge ended up saying, like, he didn't really care about those reasons. And that because Tom used... Oh, sorry. That was important. When the audit first happened, and I'm sorry to take up a lot of time, but this is important. Tom told, like, the courts pretty much that those earrings were stolen. That's what happened. Tom said that when they asked about where the earrings, originally he said that they were stolen, but they were not. And then when they found out that they actually existed, that's when they said, all right, Erica, we need the earrings back. People was like, well, no, she shouldn't have to give them back. Regardless of the situation, she ended up giving them up. She gave them up, and I think the past summer, she ended up giving it up. And that's just kind of where we are. So far, She does have other lawsuits going on, but so far that is the only like physical item that they can say that Tom used his. It's like this. He used his company credit card to buy something for his wife. You ain't allowed to do that. Sorry to do all of that, but I just wanted to break down that how that worked. So they talked about that because that's going to be a big piece of next week's episode. So then oh, I do want to say though that the judge did say that he did not believe that Erica knew about all of the workings of what Tom was doing. Just wanted to put that out there to you. So get to Cal's house. Cal's house was all right. It was cute, whatever. But the house that Garcelle and them stayed in, beautiful. That's the house I want to be in. That's the house that Dorit deserves to be in. And I know she's going to like it more. So then Kathy, we go over back to the other house with Kyle and the rest of the girls. And Kathy's the key. Kathy's just funny to me. She being bossy as hell. You could tell Mauricio cannot stand Kathy. She was like, you need to cook the corn. He's like, if you want to cook the corn, you better go cook the corn yourself. And she's like, but it's not done. Okay, and I don't care. Like, it was a really weird dynamic between like Mauricio and Crystal and Kat. It was just weird. It was funny, but weird. So then all of the girls come over and they pretty much pull out the Ouija board. And like the black people we are, Cherie and Garcelle both said off top, don't do that. We don't play with spirits like that. Sure don't as black people. So I think it was Erica and Lisa who pretty much was on the Ouija board. Now Kyle with her shit starting ass gonna be like, do you think that we can all get along and put our stuff to the side for the weekend? And like Brenna said in her damn confessional, Kyle, you fucking shit started. Let me tell you something about Kyle real fast. Let's talk about Kyle real fast, right? Baby, Kyle has always been a shit starter. But this season in particular, she really don't give a F about who knows. Like, she's blatant about it. She don't care. I think she is maybe finally sitting in her, like, Sheree role. Like, but she's, like, a front runner. It's a little bit different. Like, Sheree is the bone collector. She's the bone carrier, the bone collector. That's what she do. And I think that Kyle has now really sat in the fact that that's what she's here for. That's why she probably get paid probably the most out of everybody, because she's willing to stir the pot. So, annoying. Messy, yes. Doing her job, yes, but very much so annoying. So, yeah, so she say that, and then, like, I think they had both went to, was it no or something like that? So then the next question, Kyle is like, let's ask the Ouija board, why did Garcelle unfollow Erica? And so Erica in her confessional is like, I wish that Kyle would stop bringing this up. Like, honestly, nobody gives a fuck. I'm 51 years old, which is, it always blows my mind that she's that old. Bitch, Erica, you look good. She's like, I'm 51 years old. I'm not 14. I don't care about who follows me and who didn't follow me. And then it shows like a flashback. When she was like, Kyle keeps bringing this up, it showed a flashback of how when they was on a plane, and this is important, when they was on a plane, Kyle asked, I think, Sutton that. And Sutton was like, oh, it was a joke. We were joking. So, yeah, like I said, Erica said she didn't give a fuck. She's 51. I'm not 14. So then, I think in the midst of them talking about that, right? Because then Kyle was like, yeah, because, Sutton said that it was a joke. So Sutton starts to talk. And then Garcelle was like, well, I unfollowed you. I sure did. And she's like, and I unfollowed you because you called me a liar. And so then Erica said, yeah, because you was lying about, what did Erica say she was lying about the first time? I can't remember. But point of the matter is Garcelle was like, pretty much you called me a liar about the whole drinking thing. Like, when I was pretty much telling the truth, like, you was the one that was drinking and on medicine. Like, we saw that. That wasn't nothing that I went around and I made up. So then Erica, and I'm sorry, y'all, because my notes gets intense around this whole scene. So then Erica says, well, you went to Dorit, and then when Dorit didn't agree with you, then you got mad at her, and then you went to Kyle, and then Kyle didn't agree with you, you got mad at her, and then it shows a flashback of when Kyle was telling Erica about what Garcelle said. And so, then Garcelle and Erica goes a little bit back and forth pretty much about that. And pretty much at one point, Garcelle was like, Erica, we don't have to be friends. We don't have to be friends. And Erica was like, okay. And I'm not going to hold you. I respect that. I respect it from both sides. I respect Garcelle saying, I understand that we on this show, but I'm not going to even fake the funk. Bitch, I don't like you and I'm not trying to be your friend. And I respect Erica being like, all right. Like, not arguing with her, not being like, oh, bitch, whatever. She's just like, okay, that's fine. Like, and I wish a lot of y'all would handle it like that more so we can understand what all y'all bitches said. Instead of being fake, like Cal is about to talk about. Let me tell you something. Cal, and I say this all the time, Cal is a shit starter. But on some real shit, Cal be telling the truth. And I stand by that. I've been saying that, especially all season. Cal been annoying, but she been a shit starter. But what she been saying within her stirring shit, she been telling the damn truth in there. So let's talk about it, right? So Kyle was like, okay, Garcelle, you're saying, right, that, like, you know, that's why you unfollowed her, which is whatever. Everybody got their ways to feel, but I can understand that, and I can understand how Erica feels. She said, what I don't understand is that when I asked Sutton said that it was a joke. I don't understand how that's a joke, especially if you listen to what you just said. Garcelle was like, well, it was a joke. And she said, between who? And she was like, well, between us, it was a joke. This is how I feel about this. This is how I feel. Sutton is a scary ass bitch. Sutton talks and pops so much shit. But then when it's time to face the music, she always backpedals and she backpedals. And then Garcelle, being your friend and not wanting you to look bad, always tends to have your back. So the only reason Sutton said, oh, we were joking, is because she didn't want to just be real about it. She was too scared to be real and say, I can't speak for Garcelle, but bitch, I could speak for myself. Or just say, we unfollow her because we don't like her. We unfollow her because we ain't friends with her. We unfollow her because we don't fuck with her. Instead of just saying that, it's, oh, well, we were joking. So now, because that's what you said, and Garcelle don't want to make you look bad, now she has to back your dumb ass up. Oh, it was a joke. Garcelle, how was it a joke about y'all unfollowing her when you just said 2 minutes ago that you unfollowed her because you didn't fuck with her? You're only saying that to back Sutton so that she doesn't look stupid and like a liar. My main problem with Sutton, and y'all can go back and check every single video I've said this. She does not keep the same energy. I've been saying this shit since last season. I'm so sorry. Sutton talks the most shit. Then when she gets in front of whoever it is, mostly Erica, she even my thing is, it's not that she necessarily walks back everything that she says, but all of that vigor and all of that energy half the time, it don't be there. So like I said, last season when they confronted her about everything, all of that energy wasn't there. It was very, no, I wasn't saying it like that. I was just asking, but when you was with all of the girls, it was like, she's a liar, and she's this, and she's that, and she's this. The same way how I'm pretty sure when it was you and Garcelle, and when it's you and anybody else, you be talking shit about Erica, but then the minute that you get into her face, you want to backpedal. Why didn't you just stand on your shit when Kyle asked you and said, I unfollowed her because I don't fuck with her? Now Garcelle has to back your dumb ass. Not have to, but she does, which I'm gonna get to in a second. So then it was funny because the Reed was like, I think all of this is stupid, and I just think there's a bit of pot stirring from Kyle, obviously. So then, like I said, Garcelle said her and Erica don't gotta be friends, blah blah blah. So like I said, Kyle was standing on the same point, but I understood what she was saying. And so after Garcelle said, well, it was a joke between us, Kyle said, this is what I don't understand. Garcelle, if you're saying, right, that you unfollowed her, if you unfollowed Erica because of her calling you a liar, I understand that. But then why would Sutton say that you two were joking? I don't like that. That does not make sense to me. So then Sutton was like, I mean, well, she called me a cunt. And then Kyle said, okay, well, then say that. And I know a lot of people probably, I think the only other person that understood where Kyle was coming from was Kathy. Because at the end, Kathy was like, okay, if that's your point, then I agree. What Kyle pretty much is saying, hold on, sorry, before I get to the next one, let me see, okay, yeah, before I get to the next scene about pretty much what happened. That is Kyle's whole point. Kyle has been very consistent, like I have been, in the sense of, why don't you just be honest about some shit, son? If you don't fuck with Erica, just say that, but don't turn around and try to lie about it. So if you really did unfollow her because you didn't fuck with the fact that she called you a cunt or whatever the fucking case may be, why don't you just say that? Say that instead of lying and saying you were joking. You were not joking. You were serious. And that's the part that's annoying, Sutton. And I would have to agree. It's very frustrating. You could just be a real bitch about your shit and say, I don't mess with her. Stand on it. Stand on it. Don't try to run from it. So then, whatever happens, and then Sutton is pretty much like, well, like Erica pretty much called me the C word and nobody said anything. And Lisa said at the same time as I did, why do we have to? And then she was like, Lisa said, why do we have to? Which I agree. Like, my whole thing is, Sutton, I think it's foolish for Sutton. You've been on this season for what? This is like maybe like your third season, I think, maybe third, maybe fourth season. Why do you keep expecting something from these girls that you're never gonna get? You should have knew after season 1, these bitches will never defend you. Cal, Erica, Lisa, and Dorit will never stand up for you. And I don't know why you keep setting your expectations up that high for these bitches. They don't like you. These girls don't like you, but you still expect them to defend you and to step up for you. The same way why I call Crystal dumb as hell every time too. All of them girls have showed you exactly where they stand, but you still turn around and get in your bag because they don't defend you. You should know that by now. That shouldn't be a surprise at this point. And so when Lisa was like, well, why do we need to defend you? And then Diana came out of nowhere and was like, I mean, we don't need to defend her because she is one. So then Erica starts laughing and everybody started laughing. Even Cherie was next to Garcelle, kikiing and laughing. And so Garcelle was like, I really don't like that word. I think that that's a terrible word. Garcelle, I need you, like, girl, come back home. Because you know, as a black person, we don't care about that word. White women get super offended by that word. As a black person, we don't give a fuck about that word. We don't care. You could call me that right now. It don't mean nothing to me. Sorry, I'm trying to check the time. So then Diana pretty much says to Garcelle, like, look, at the end of the day, like, she apologized to Sutton. But she's like, look, what it gets down to, Garcelle, is that, to sum it up, it's a hard situation to be in because I want to be cool with you, but I don't fuck with your best friend pretty much. And so then Garcelle was like, but why don't you like her? And then she said, because I think that she's too slithery. And then Garcelle goes, that's not okay to say. That's not okay to say. And then Diana was like, well, do you want me to say it now or do you want me to say it behind her back? And so she's like, that's just not a nice thing to say. That's just not a nice thing to say. She was like, that's just not a nice thing to say at all. This is my whole thing, Garcelle. What the hell do you want? Like she said, like that part really frustrated the hell out of me. You literally asked Diana why. First of all, I have a problem. Why do you care so much about why Diana does not like Sutton? It does not matter. If she don't like her, she don't like her. What it's coming down to, Garcelle, it's coming off like somebody, for people to be friends with you, they have to be friends with Sutton. For people to like you, they have to like Sutton. Why does it matter so much why she doesn't fuck with Sutton? She just doesn't. She just doesn't. It shouldn't really even be that big of a deal. You can be friends with two people who do not like each other. As long as you're not coming in the middle and talking shit about both of them and having each other come to them, it should be perfectly fine. So for you to say, that's not a nice thing to say, like Diana said, you asked her directly why she don't like her, and she answered. And then you still turn around, Garcelle, and get offended for something. Why? Don't ask if you don't want the damn answer. Like she said, would you prefer me to go now? But now, mind you, if Diana would have said this behind her back to somebody else and somebody would have came back, then you would have been like, oh, it's not nice to talk about people when they're not here. Her biggest thing, my thing is, sorry, I'm looking at the time. Garcelle's biggest thing is that I don't like when y'all talk about Sutton when she's not here, right? So Sutton is sitting right there, and Kyle did jump in at one point and was like, well, let's not talk about her like she's not here. She is right here, but we'll get to that in a second. Garcelle, your main thing is always, I don't like to talk about people when they're not here. I'm not going to talk about something when she's not here, which I respect as a friend. But now that she is here and somebody is being honest about something that you asked them because they didn't say what you wanted, now it's not a nice thing. Oh, that's not nice. It's her being honest. Don't ask if you don't want the fucking answer. Do you want her to fucking lie? So, that part really like sent me through the damn roof. So then at this point, Kyle is going over to Sutton because Sutton is sitting there not saying a word. Kyle is like, Sutton, like, do you want to like defend yourself? Say something. So then Crystal was like, there's only but so many times, because Diana started going off about, another reason she don't like Sutton is because how she came at her at Garcelle's party. And so Crystal was like, there's only but so many times that Sutton can apologize, which I agree. I don't like the whole thing about Diana constantly bringing up the whole thing with Sutton because, bitch, she apologized. So either you accept it or you don't. Don't keep saying you accept some shit. Same as Sutton. If you don't accept the apology, don't sit there and say that you accept it, because that's being very fraudulent. If you don't fuck with her still, just tell her, girl, I don't accept your apology. I will never fuck with you, and just leave it at that, like you did at the first dinner. That's all you could have left it at. So So then hold on, because I'm gonna get to the whole thing. So when Kyle, now mind you, when Kyle tapped Sutton and said, defend yourself, say something, she didn't say a word. So then when Diana started to get upset, she pretty much got up, put on her coat, and started to walk away. As soon as she got up, then Sutton was like, yeah, you can leave. Yeah, go back to your hotel. That shit made me flip my computer. Where the fuck was that energy 2 seconds ago? That's my problem with Sutton, bitch. You don't stand on what it is that you say. You talk all of this shit and you be so big and bad when the person is not in front of you. But the minute that they get in front of you, you ain't got nothing to say. Cal literally just tapped you 2 seconds ago and said defend yourself, and you didn't. You waited for her to get up for you to open up your mouth and say something. Now, granted, there is only but so many times that you can say sorry. But to me, that wasn't a time for her to say sorry. That was a time for her to defend herself. She needed to defend herself. But every single time that she's pushed against the wall, even a little bit, she get dead quiet and she look straight at Garcelle. And she looked like she about to cry. Instead of her fucking defending herself. I keep saying, Sutton, you cannot be on the Real Housewives franchise and not stand up for yourself. Because it's always gonna look like bitches are bullying you when they're not. You need to stand up for yourself. People are always coming for Garcelle, but do it look like she's being bullied? No, because she know how to speak for herself. And it makes Garcelle look bad because you won't speak up for yourself, so she do because she feel bad. So then pretty much Garcelle says in her confessional, oh, well, I thought that when Diana left my house, she was going to be nicer to her, but clearly not, and I don't like that. I'm lost. Did Bravo cut something out where Diana said she was going to start fucking with Sutton? No, and again, this is not for me to defend Diana or nothing, but unless that was cut from that scene, what we did see was Diana clearly say, if Sutton was here, we wouldn't be able to kiki and be cool. That's what I saw, which to me does not read, oh, I'm going to go and try to be friends with her. No, bitch, I'm going to be friends with you. So that laps back to my original statement in the beginning, which is, Garcelle, why does Diana have to be friends with Sutton for you to be friends with her? You're making everything that Erica and the rest of the girls said true as hell. Why does everybody have to be friends with Sutton or like Sutton for them to be cool with you? Why do you even care why they don't like her? It doesn't matter. She could say, I don't like her because her shoes is green. That's just her reasoning for not liking her, but she fucks with you. As long as she's not in your face talking about Sutton, I don't understand. And Garcelle is literally, you are defending, you defend Sutton so much to the point where she can't even stand up for herself. Maybe if you was to just take a step back and let Sutton speak for herself, everybody wouldn't feel like you do. You coddled the fuck out of her. So when she left, pretty much, like, I agreed with Kyle. Kyle was like, people might say that Diana's being mean, but at least she was being honest, which is true. And then at the end, when she leaves, pretty much Sutton has an entire breakdown and starts crying. And Garcelle goes over, that's not okay. That's not okay. You're a human being. That wasn't okay to say. What wasn't okay to say, Garcelle? The truth? Because I'm serious. Somebody in the comments, please, if I'm misunderstanding this, please get in the comments. Outside of Diana being still upset about what happened at Garcelle's party, outside of that, what else was said to Sutton by Diana in that conversation that was so wrong? It damn sure wasn't. And if it was calling her slithery, please explain to me why. Because Garcelle asked, she said, why don't you like her? She said, because I think she's slithery. And you say, well, that's not a nice thing to say. She's a human being. Bitch, don't ask me the fucking question. Then excuse my language, but don't ask me the question if you don't want the answer. You didn't like the fact that I didn't say, oh, well, I really don't got a problem with her. That's what, come on, Garcelle, come on. You got to do better, bitch. You got to do better. Let Sutton stand up for herself. Stop coddling her and being her mouthpiece. She's on this show, so she needs to speak for herself. Period. I'm done.